Before we begin today's video, we need to establish one very important thing about this channel. On this channel, my word is law. Whether that makes me self-centered or selfish or entitled is really neither here nor there, because at the end of the day, the one steering this ship is myself. Sometimes quite literally. Moving on. I am no stranger to making enemies. With anything you do, you are going to ruffle some feathers. I've had a lot of disparaging comments over the past year from people who love to attack me as a person and not the content I create. Those people are often dealt with using a swift ban hammer and hiding their content from my channel. But something recently that really gave me pause was someone who not only proceeded to disparage my character after I began debating them, they went as far as to completely emulate and imitate the very criticisms that I was making in that particular video. And that boggles my brain, because the video in question was a satire. I'm not making this up. How could I expect someone to completely play the trope straight and not see what was going on? It does make me wonder if maybe we are living in a simulation, or that the dead internet theory is in fact real. So let's talk about it, as we often do on this channel. First, let's start off with what the video. This was the off-script "Do streamers even create?" video. The description is as follows. This video has no cuts, no script, and minimal editing. It took me just shy of 2 hours to put together, which is a lot less time than my videos normally take to make. That said, it is a lot more uninspired, and the reason I made it is really to draw a comparison to streaming content, where everything is a one take, and the VOD is mostly uploaded as is. Honestly, I have even had friends who are streamers ask me unironically why it can take 10 hours to create a 10-minute video, as if they assume that a 10-minute video should only take 10 minutes to make. Though this mindset is most common among people who are most vocal in accusing content creators of laziness. The video itself, despite having no script, had a general beginning, middle, and end. I opened with my point that certain streamers have taken to Twitter recently to make callouts at other creators for what they see as lazy or uninspired content. The bulk of the video gives my take on how I create videos, what I choose to prioritize, and what I choose not to prioritize. The end of the video is my call out against those naysayers who only see the face value of the process and not the whole process. The only comparison those streamers have is they do everything as a one take with zero editing before publishing the VOD. That's it, plain and simple. Nothing was discussed about view counts, nothing about money. All of this was about the hypocrisy of their accusations, especially when things like generative AI get thrown into the drama. And I did my very best not to name names during that video. But unfortunately, not naming names was clearly my mistake. So let's talk about why the video. I made this video in particular to call out SidWatch. If you don't know, Sid is a streamer who prioritizes The Crew 2, and The Crew Motorfest, all games I have played on my own channel. I do occasionally watch his streams, I heckle him in the comments, it's all in good fun, but I do have an idea of his workflow. He will set aside time in the middle of a stream to do a one take that will ultimately be a 10 to 20 minute video. It will have minimal cuts, swap the background audio for a royalty-free song loop, and add some text overlays on screen. Simple, effective, can be knocked out in about 2 hours off stream. He also does make his thumbnails using templated formats in Photoshop, just the same as I do. And if that were the long and short of it, I would have no beef with him. But back in April, Motorfest did Streaming Month. The two players who were highlighted were Black Panther and Stereo Online. Sid and the Pants Man go way back, so he had nothing but nice things to say about Black Panther, and that's all well and dandy. But when it came to Stereo Online, Sid was absolutely critical of this creator. For 2 whole weeks, Sid took to Twitter to discuss how Stereo Online was not making videos about Motorfest despite being featured in the game all month. To be fair, Stereo Online did one at the start of Streamer Month, before going back to mainly Forza content, which is his jam. But then Sid doubled down about the fact that Stereo Online uses AI-generated thumbnails, and I guess is also involved in some kind of crypto whatever. Something completely unrelated with the whole being a creator primarily. And it honestly pissed me off. And I wasn't the only one. More than a few people took offense to what Sid was doing. But the thing is, Sid is not the only one who does this. A lot of more recent VTuber drama centers around the same idea. People like myself incorporating AI into the creation process, and them seeing it as some kind of affront to traditional art when really it isn't. But there is this extremist take of, if even 1% of a work has AI in it, then it is all 100% bad. And that is a disingenuous take at best, or a complete insult to creators at worst. So yes, the video was made without pointing the finger just at Sid, and it basically made a more sweeping call out to the greater industry. But I'll remind y'all, I only attacked the people who make these allegations. I had zero ill will toward their editors, their model artists, or other support staff, because those are the people doing the bulk of the grunt work, the stuff most viewers will never see. And somehow this earned me the ire of one such viewer. So now we need to talk about how the video. Full disclosure, at the time this video goes out, that user has been banned from my channel. We'll get to why. Viewer starts out by saying, "I know nothing about the being called lazy thing." At this point, if you don't know, you have no argument. Anything you say is conjecture because you lack sufficient context. But I wanted to give this person the benefit of the doubt. Their response: "I don't think it's fair for you to completely discount the work that editors of streamers are putting in. Again, I did not do that. The time you put into your content is self-imposed, and you have the ability to be as lazy as some streamers are." Incredibly wild take to have, but okay. It isn't the fault of streamers that people aren't more critical of what they watch, and they shouldn't be demonized for doing what works. Honestly, yeah, they should. Lazy people do not get to accuse other people of being lazy. That is called hypocrisy. If they truly cared, they'd actually put their money where their mouth is and familiarize themselves with the whole process. For example, there is a streamer who I have mad respect for, the Russian Badger. This guy has over 1 million followers for a reason. He started out making daily vids, but as his streaming side of things took off, the videos became less frequent. These days, he uploads 1 video per month. But the respect comes from the fact that even with a full-time streaming schedule, he still edits these videos himself. He still has that drive and initiative to condense his artistic vision, knowing full well it's going to take more time, result in less overall viewership hours, and really thumbs his nose at the algo. I would be hard-pressed to call any of his videos uninspired, because in spite of his streams being a self-admitted psychosis of memery, sensory overload, and some of the weirdest takes I have ever seen, each and every video of his has a theme, a sequence to it, and it is all done with the utmost care. And that is something that any creator can do if they just want to do it. Plain and simple. So I relayed back to the commenter that their response was a bit of a messed up precedent. And here's what I got back. You shouldn't demonize people trying to make money. Again, didn't do that. Making a vitriolic response, spiting people for putting less effort than you and getting more views, is self-centered and misdirected anger. Again, did not do that either. And finally, how do you expect a streamer to stream for 8 hours and then come through that stream to make clips and edit them? To which my answer was very simple. Because I do the same thing, and clearly you did not watch the video. And I was ready for that to be the end of it. Only for this viewer to double down in the craziest way possible. I don't know if you are the world's worst racing game player, but how do you record gameplay for 8 hours? Your production process is just mad bloated. The impression I get from you as a creator is you are self-centered and arrogant. Don't get mad at people for making money. This no passion argument can be applied to you and your AI avatars. I can say you're too lazy or don't have time to create your own, which is what you said about editing. To those of you watching, this is literal game, set, and match. Everything I talked about in that prior video surmised in one comment directed directly at me. Same accusations to the freaking letter. And that is how we ended up at this video. A winner is you. Your prize is the banhammer. So to really put the nail in the coffin, I'm going to do 2 videos for this. The first one is this one, and the second one tomorrow will be how YouTube videos are made. I will go over my entire workflow step by step in that one, so you can all see for yourselves why a 10-minute video can take upwards of 10 hours to make. Because really, the biggest source of frustration in this whole debacle is the lack of transparency by creators who want you to believe the process of creating anything at all is magic or talent. And the answer is no. The answer is process, trial and error, lots of luck, and not really knowing what you want out of your project until it's already in the public eye. So I will leave it at that, slap on my to be continued sticker, and I will see you in that video tomorrow.